So if they go to a tiebreak, Tomac has the more moto wins, right? So he's got that. That's the tiebreak. In your guys' eyes, and this is the first time I've had you in since for the outdoors, is there one guy that deserves this title more than the other? Is there any reason that either one of you can think of a guy that he deserves this one? I mean, Tomac's won more motos.
I mean, I get that, but at the same time, I feel like Sexton has what he's overcame. When with all the people talking about the last lap, falls and mistakes and stuff like that, I feel like he's overcame that, and he's very strong with pressure now. I feel like he's a little bit more deserving, I guess, is a hard word to say, but I would like for Sexton to win over Eli, because Sexton hasn't been there in the 450 class as much as he has this year, right? In this position.
Yep.
So I'm going to go Sexton, my answer.
All right.
I don't even comment of who deserves it more, one of the other, but I agree, it is really, because we've watched Chase on a 450 for 2 years now.
Yep.
And man, he was starting to get a bit of a stigma of when's he gonna do the stupid mistake and have a dumb crash? And he did some of that again in Supercross this year. So for him to be able to wrangle that in and do what he's done this summer, I think is very, very cool. Does he deserve it more than Eli? I don't know. They probably both work hard and they both deserve it. But
deserves probably a wrong word for me to use. But I guess what I wanted to see was, is there a guy that should win this over the other one for whatever reason? You know what I mean? That's I guess maybe
I know.
I know.
But
you know what I'm saying.
Even too, if you want to talk about Eli, I mean, it was a completely new bike for him this year. For him to do what he did in Supercross and then come to outdoors on a brand new bike that he hasn't performed on, I think that's big as well.
It's his last outdoor season.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's doing Supercross only next year.
Oh, okay.
So for Eli, that's let's go out with a bang type deal, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's been great though, man. It's been great to watch him. Don't forget, Sexton threw away the moto win at Lakewood.
Yep, I was gonna say that.
With a tip over.
It was about to start going the way it was for him, he was doing in Supercross, but then he sort of turned it around.
He lost those 3 points, and then he was penalized 1 point at Lakewood for jumping on a yellow or a red cross or whatever.
So he would still have a little bit of a cushion if
4 points that are just gone, So ifs, buts. I mean, Jake, you've been in championship battles, so it all counts. It all adds up, right?
No, it really does.
Yeah.
Because you can look back and be like, oh, that race.
Yeah.
But I already said it, but I just think it's really nice to see Chase kind of get that under control, because then he's a competitor. We already knew he was, but he just was kind of in a bad, I don't want to say a habit, but just little mistake, unnecessary crashes. So for him to get that under control, I think, it's just nice to see that.
It'd be nice to see if Adam Cianciarillo can get that under control.
I was staring at that jersey behind you.
Yeah. See all the mud on it?
Oh, that one.
No.
You got 2 of them right here.
Yeah, that one with the mud. He was leading that moto, and then that happened. So, that's another topic for another day, but you wonder if AC can have it turn on. I've had some people tell me, if Sexton doesn't get this one, he'll get next year. You know what I mean? He's unbelievable. And I'm like, well, you can't say that.
Yeah.
You got to grab these chances when you can.
Yeah.
You never know. There's going to be a Jet Lawrence in the class. Ferrandos will be back, right?
And 2 Supercross is a long season too. You got to make it 2 outdoors.
Right. You just can't be like, he's crushing everybody this year, which he is. He'll get it next year. It's a different deal.
Oh, the slate's wiped and you start over, and it starts 3 weeks after outdoors ends, because then you're testing and you're doing. There's just so much time in between all that to sprain your ankle, or there's so many variables to be competitive in a title fight. You can have good races, or but to be competitive after a whole summer of racing, 24 or 35-minute motos, a lot of things got to go right.
You can appreciate that too, because like I said, you've been in that. It's such a grind. The 450 guys, whenever these guys jump at the 450s, they're like, dude. It's another level. I remember Zacho being like, man.
It's brutal.
Right. It's no 8 weeks off in the middle of the year. And
I feel, it probably depends guy to guy, but I feel like it's almost more so mentally than physically.
Yeah.
Physically, you got to be smart because there's more racing and more traveling. But it's just the mental toll to show up and race on a Saturday is 100% different than showing up racing for a championship. That pressure, just because you got to eliminate mistakes and the starts have to be you can't afford to have a bad weekend.
Yeah.
If you're out of the title fight, it's like Hail Mary. I'm going to go for it. If I win, great. If I get 8th, whatever.
Well, do you remember when you and Andrew Short were locked in a battle for 5th overall for the outdoors or whatever?
3rd.
Was it 3rd?
Yeah.
And I asked both of you, and you're like, I don't care.
I cared.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
okay.
I
cared. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Oh, you did get it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I'm all out on the whole championship like mental side of things.
Well,
right? Like I haven't been there. I mean, now I don't know if this like I don't know, like the third going into the last moto at the Tampere Supercross, I was doing pretty good for the overall. And what do? I fucking cartwheel myself.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I use even me speaking about it lightly because I really fought for a title twice. I won one, I lost the other one to Dunge, but it was close.
Yeah.
So I have limited experience with it, but it definitely made me respect a guy like Dungy or RV or Ricky or Chad, guys that won many titles.
Yeah.
Because the stress level is so much different.
I think we don't appreciate it now, and Tomac's on the verge of, he could win both titles this year, but we haven't had a guy like Dunge and RV that just went indoors and out and won both and like 29 races, 450. We kind of thought, oh, yeah, that's just going to happen. Well, we've seen it hasn't happened for a number of years. It may happen this year. So then you look back at Dunge and RV winning both championships or even being right in the fight for both, right?
Yeah.
For many years, 5 years in a row, whatever those two went at it, right? However long it was. And you're just like, holy shit. Like, you begin to appreciate that a little bit. You're like, that is so gnarly.
It's almost like within the past few years we haven't seen that dominance that you've seen like with James, with RV, with Dunge. You haven't had that. You have a lot of different winners nowadays.
And I think a lot of that is due to everyone's doing the same stuff now. Everyone's doing the same thing. They all got facilities. They all know what the trainers are doing. They all, like everyone's riding together now. Not everyone, but a lot of people ride together now, which is stuff that you guys at Alden were doing. You had to jump on everybody for a number of years when when you guys were just pushing each other, right?
Yep.
Now it's like that's just common.
That's just normal.
We're just all doing this. The 83 compounds having battle royales every day, the Sandbox battle royales, Alden Baker's battle royales, right? So I think that's why we're seeing a tighter competition. Tomac's really the lone guy out by himself doing his own thing.
I mean, even him too. Like, do you know how much he goes to the goat farm to help test with the team?
No, not much. No,
not much.
No,
he does all of his own stuff.
Yeah, I think he goes there once. He's gone there once for outdoors, once for Supercross. And then that's about. I think that's about it. Jake Weimer, Alex Ray on the show. Jake Weimer brought to you by the folks at Decal Works. You ever use Decal Works for anything? They're in Illinois.
I don't know.
Not far from Idaho.